What's up, y'all? We are live on Dog Talk Tuesdays. We're gonna get it started. Most of you know today's topic is the Brazilian pit monster, and is it just an American XL American bully or no? That's what we're gonna be discussing today. We're gonna figure it out, come up with an answer or a conclusion, and go from there. Because I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they're two separate breeds. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they're the same breed. I'm seeing I'm seeing a lot more consistency with that breed than I am seeing with the XL American bullies, but we're gonna figure it out today. So give me a quick chance to share this out. Make sure you guys like, comment, also share. Give me a quick second. And let me see here. Where are we? Okay, so it's showing that I'm live on Facebook. Why did it do that? All right, cool. And for some reason, it won't let the live be shared. Why is that? Edit post, edit live video. Why is it not letting the live be shared? That I don't know. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and for some reason I can't share it. Yeah, it's not giving the option for some reason. Let's see here. Okay, I don't know what that's about. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And go into some detail regarding it. So where are we at? Let's go to the beginning. We'll go to the beginning. Okay, so we know that, all right, all right, I'm gonna jump out of this and let's see here. All right, so the comments on YouTube are showing up. If you guys are watching through Facebook, let me know. Let's see, the Montgomerys. What's up, man? Thanks for joining in. Said, didn't they change the name to Brazilian Bulls as it is supposed to be a separate breed, or is that still all in the works? They are definitely working on making it a separate breed. That is their push. I think the question that we're gonna figure out tonight is it truly a separate breed? They are changing the name. I guess they took a vote. They've agreed that they're going to change the name to Brazilian Bulls or Brazilian Bull. Very smart in not saying bully, so they're separating themselves automatically. So yeah, you're right. They are changing the name to Brazilian Bull, and they are working on making it a totally separate breed. They've got about 4 or 5 registries I looked into that all register pit bulls, American Bully. They are also now registering the Brazilian pit monster. Is what they call it. And they still have it, their registries, and they all still have it as that name, Brazilian pit monster. So we're going to get into the differences. I think their major kennel seems to be, our major registry seems to be IBC. They are looking at also getting the dog included with the ABKC as a separate breed from the XL American Bully. So they are making a huge push for this to be a totally separate breed. The question is it a separate breed or is it not when you go to the breakdown of it? So before we get into it, let's deal with this first. What does it take to make a breed? Now, when I was young, I always was told that you needed at least 3 other breeds in order to make a breed. We all know that breeds are made up of other breeds, every breed. So when I was young, that's how I came up learning that it takes 3. You need at least 3 other breeds to create a new breed. I think AKC also says the same. you are starting to hear more of no, it only takes 2 breeds. I don't know. I should say it this way. To be honest, I feel that people have come up with it only takes 2 breeds to make it easier to create their own breed. I don't believe that has always been the way of dogs, is that you just take 2 breeds, cross them, and now you have a new breed. Most of us consider that a mix or a concept. But I always grew up with the understanding that it takes 3 breeds. I want to say the AKC says the same thing. Now, we know when it comes to, we've discussed creating a breed on here before. So you need 3 breeds. Some people say 2. You figure then you want to take those 3 breeds, you want to bring them all into one. Then you're going to do some line breeding, you're going to do an inbreeding, and then hopefully you got somebody else or another part of your yard where you were doing the exact same type of breedings, and then you can outcross to those, or you got to do a distant line breeding. Most people who are creating a breed, when they've gotten where they want to get and it's time to outcross to expand that genetic variation, they don't usually go to one of the breeds they use to make the breed. They go to distant line breeding to add more genetic variety, and then they move on from there. So with the American Bully, we know there were a lot of problems in that process. One, they didn't keep track of the dogs they used to create the breed. They didn't keep track of the breeds that they were using to create the American Bully. They also tried to push in the beginning that the American Bully was just a cross between Pit Bull and Amstaff. We know that's not true because you don't get the size variations that you have from the pocket all the way up to the XL. So we know that that's not true, but that was the original story that was being pushed, that they were creating Pit Bulls and Amstaff. The other thing is Pit Bull and Amstaff have only been bred 2 different directions for about 80 years. They're the same dog. The Pit Bull, the Amstaff was just the Pit Bull for AKC. They didn't want to use the name Pit, so they changed it to American Staffordshire Bull Terrier, or American Staffordshire Terrier. The UKC and the ADBA had the original Pit Bull dogs. The AKC took dogs from the UKC and changed the name to Amstaff and started breeding for a thicker, larger dog. As we've discussed on here, the show ring always goes for, and the registries always go for a thicker, larger version of every breed. So when it came to the UKC, the AKC version of the Pit Bull, which is the Amstaff, seemed to be a little more popular in the look. The UKC Pit Bull now is identical to the AKC American Staffordshire Terrier, to the point where the ADBA, I don't know what changes they've made recently, but in the past, you could register your UKC Pit Bull with ADBA as a Pit Bull, but not if it was also registered with the AKC as an Amstaff. Some of them, they would even put an asterisk by it, just to let it be known that this is also being considered an Amstaff in other locations. So we know you can't breed a Pit Bull to an Amstaff to create a new breed, okay? Especially since that's just 2. Then people started finally admitting with the American Bully that other breeds were mixed in. We know that they'll say Presa, they'll say Cane Corso. The truth is that they'll say American Bulldog, they'll say Oldie Bulldog. They like to focus on those things. They like to try to remove the Mastiff, which I think is also what the Pit Monster, the Brazilian Pit Monster, has also done. But unfortunately, with the XL American Bully, it's more verbiage. They don't like to speak on the Mastiffs that were used. They like to focus on Pit Bull, Amstaff, American Bulldog, Oldie Bulldog, and that's how we got to where we're at. We know that's not true. Those of us who are in my age bracket know, we all remember seeing those Pit Bull, Mastiff crosses, whether it was Presa, Corso, Rottweilers, for some reason, they do not like admitting that one. Basically, anything that was bigger than a pit bull or Amstaff, they were breeding them. They were breeding to it, especially here in California. So that's something that we have to look at when it comes to creating the American Bully. So what is the American Bully, especially when it comes to the XL? It's a cross between pit bull, mostly Amstaff, cross to you got Razor's Edge that was extremely focused on that, but then you also got Gotti Line, who was bringing in just about everything. Then the two cross, we have the American Bully, which is a combination of a little bit of pit bull, a whole lot of Amstaff crossed with a whole lot of various Mastiffs, Pressers, Rottweilers, Bull Mastiffs, anything they could get their hands on. We also know that it was crossed with a lot of variations of Bulldog, American Bulldog, English Bulldog, Oldie Bulldog. Later, we know that they also brought in Borbell. We know they brought in a Alapaha. We even know they brought in Catahoulas just to get the Merle color. So the American Bully's been doing just a lot of mixing with a whole lot of different breeds. So from what I gathered watching the interviews with the Brazilian pit monster breeders is one, they all come from XLs. Even when you go to their pages, they're saying Brazilian pit monster, but then they're forgetting to change some of the bio on their IG pages, and it says XL American Bully Breeder. So, of course, there was a guy who was in one of the lives I was watching on the Brazilian pit monster by the name of Del Monto. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was a pit bull breeder. Sound like he got into a focus of the UKC version of the pit bull, and he was saying that the bullies hit Brazil about 20 years ago. To me, that sounds early because now you're talking about 2000. You're talking about 2004, 2005. American ABKC. We know that's not the first American Bully registry, but they started 2004. I forget what the first one I want to say was. I'm not even going to try it. But it was American Bully. It might have been ABR. But ABKC came right after. Whatever it was, and then ABKC came right after. And but what he did say, so I'm not sure if he was 100% accurate when he said, that the bullies hit Brazil 20 years ago. There might have been some sprinkling in of some of the dogs that got popular and mixed and brought over there in the original foundation of the bullies. But what he did say, and this is where we get to where we are now, that they were heavy into the Camelot Chevy dogs. And as you know, those were a lot of weight pull dogs registered as pit bull, a lot of Whopper, but they were mixed. A lot of the Camelot people don't like to say that or admit that. I do believe there are lines of Camelot that did stay pure to the pit bull, but there was a lot of them that were mixed, especially for the weight pull. Weight pull dogs went heavy into the American Bully. So apparently that was popular. Then at some point, a dog came there that they said it was a female off of Dax that was imported there, and she was already pregnant. So the bullies started getting popular. Then years go by, bullies are getting popular, Facebook, everything is going on, and the bullies started making their ways into Brazil. The thing is, though, Brazil preferred a more functional dog because now you got this newer version of the XL American Bully competing with the older version of the XL American Bully. The show ring, ABKC especially, UKC was kind of slow to it, but ABKC really pushes for a bulldog look in the American Bully, including the XL. Brazil seemed to not be a fan of that. They seem to be more of a fan of the pit bull look. When you listen to their lives and their discussions, they wanted a more functional dog. They also felt that the temperament of the XL was somewhat all over the place. So they're getting these dogs from America. Some of them are dog aggressive, some of them aren't. Some of them are human aggressive, some of them aren't. And it tends to be all over the place. At some point, they decided to isolate themselves and move their own direction. So again, they wanted a dog that had a more balanced, stable temperament, which I think most XLs have, but they were seeing whatever issues, especially when they saw what was going on in the UK. They wanted to focus on temperament, which is what should have been done in the beginning with the American Bully, but wasn't. They also wanted to focus on ability. They wanted a more functional dog. They wanted an intelligent dog. They wanted a dog that got along with people, but also maintained its natural instincts to protect and guard its family and home when you listen to them speak on the temperament. And when it came to the look, they liked the old school Chevy Camelot dogs of the XL American Bully. They liked the red color. They like the muscle. They like the thick bone. They like the athletic build. They like the little more leg. Whereas the American Bully has been pushing to shrink the legs wider. They wanted a less fat dog, and they even say that in their words. They had been kind of going that route, and then they say of the last 5 to 10 years, they've been crossing that line along with the regular XL American Bully line. But it seems like they're only doing that with the bullies to clean up their dogs. Like I said, they are changing the name to Brazilian Bull. Let me see if we got any comments on here. No comments. All right. So again, they feel that the XL temperament is all over the place. They feel that the XL has way too many breeds bred into it with no acknowledgement of what breeds. They wanted a more functional dog, a more capable dog. And then as far as the look, they wanted to kind of bring the look in together. There's a lady by the name of, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her name correct, Bertrice Taques. I'm not sure. She is the president of IBC, which is the Brazilian registry, and she is I think she's the owner of Sunshine Bulls, which breeds American Bulldogs and Oldie Bulldogs. And when you look at the dogs, seems like she's also doing some crossing of the two. There's a dog there by the name, I think, of Iron that got real popular as a dog. So you figure she's somebody that's breeding American Bulldogs, Oldie Bulldogs. Looks like she's also crossing them. She comes up with a dog that they breed into their American Bullies. This dog has, and when you look at the eyes of this dog, they're normal, but they are squinted more than normal. And then when they bring him into their XL American Bullies, and a look starts to shape. They're starting to get a bigger dog, a thicker dog. And at some point, they decide on color. They want to stick with they want to stick with no Mastiff being brought back in to the breedings. Therefore, that way they can keep a more balanced temperament and avoid the aggression that can come with Mastiff breeds. But like I said, she breeds American Bulldogs, and she breeds Oldie Bulldogs. It does look like she has crossed the two of them. They got popular, and they began making their way into the American Bully breedings in Brazil. The thing is, though, they keep track of it in their paperwork. The stud books are still open with ABKC, so you will see where they brought this American Bulldog in their pedigrees into a lot of these breedings, and offspring from these dogs into a lot of their breedings. There was another lady on a live by the name of Samba. She seems to be helping Brazil get a lot of this together. She's an XL American Bully breeder. She also bred Dogos. Very smart lady, very well spoken. She could tell she understands dogs. She's helping them organize the registries and organize the breedings, what they need to do. So she's doing a lot of organizing with it. She is also mixing the two lines. Brazilian Pit Monster, along with her XL American Bully, her XL American Bullies. She admits that in one video on YouTube, she does admit that they are XL American Bully. They're XL American Bullies, the Brazilian Pit Monster. But in other videos, you can see her focused on separating the two, and that the American Pit Monster becomes a separate breed. They're also pushing it with ABKC. Now, with the American Pit Monster, their thing is they call it insertion, but you're only allowed to bring in American Bullies, Oldie Bulldogs, and American Bulldogs. Those are the only three breeds you're allowed to use. Now, they're looking at it from, okay, we know what the bullies, there's no telling what they use. So we're trying to get away from that, and they're trying to create their own thing. And like I said, when you go through a lot of these Pit Monster breeders, you go through their pages, somewhere on there, you often find that they're an XL bully breeder. The IBC, which is registering them, which seems to be the biggest or main registry. Seems like they got about four, maybe five different registries in Brazil that are registering the Brazilian Pit Monster. They are registering pit bulls, English bulldogs, American bullies, and now they've added the Brazilian Pit Monster to their varieties and classes. There's two different versions or varieties of the Brazilian Pit Monster, the classic, and then which seems to be the American Bully bred back to the American Bulldog, and some oldie bulldogs, and then there's also what they call the extreme, which is really focused on the American Bulldog and the oldie bulldog being bred into it. So they're looking at two different classes. Their height is a taller height. You're looking at about 25 inches with their males. They broke it down in centimeters, but it was about 25 inches with their males, 20 to 23 inches with their females. They didn't, in the live I was watching, they didn't state where the males start, but they did say basically 25 inches. And like I said, they've got the two classes. The classic class is supposed to have less bulldog in it. Apparently, the ABKC is going to eventually stop them from crossing the two, the American Bully and the Pit Monster, the Brazilian Pit Monster. They are going to have them stop crossing the two. And it is the people of Brazil's hope that they will eventually be part of the ABKC as Pit Monsters, or Brazilian Bulls is the new name, and competing with the American Bully. So the question is this an American Bully, or is it actually its own breed? I feel, based off my knowledge of dogs, that this is not its own breed. It is a new line. I don't think you can because the American Bully has so many different looks, even in the XL, some are more mastiff. That would separate them from the American Bully or the Brazilian Pit Monster. Some are more bulldog, like we see with the ABKC in the show ring. The heads are getting rounder. So you're even seeing some where the eyes are getting more circular. They're squatty. They hold a lot of fat. So we have those two versions, but then you have the version of the XL American Bully that the masses seem to like, and that is a more pit bull look. A more functional dog, a more alert dog, a more athletic dog. And we are starting, and the Brazilian Pit Monster looks like that version of the XL American Bully. To create a breed, you have to take three breeds, bring them together, and create a unique look, temperament, and ability that separates it from the three breeds that you use. With the Brazilian Pit Monster, you're using the XL American Bully, you're using the oldie bulldog, which went into the XL American Bully. You're using the American Bulldog, which went into the XL American Bully. And then you're producing a dog of a temperament that basically sounds like the ABKC's temperament in the written standard. You're producing a look that looks like the old school Chevy American Bullies, pit bulls. And also looks like the pit bulls that the XL American Bullies that the masses, not the show ring, and not the guys just breeding with the mastiff look that are just breeding for the biggest dog, but the general masses tend to prefer the XL American Bully resembling more of a pit bull. So to me, you created a line, but you haven't really created a actual new breed. Now, we know how registries work. If they can make money off of it, they'll create a new class, or they'll create a new breed for it. They'll go along with it because now they make their money. But I don't believe that the Brazilian pit monster, new name Brazilian bull, is an actual new breed. Because you are taking the XL American Bully, using the dogs that were used to create the XL American Bully, and then just breeding them back into it to create a more consistent look, but not necessarily a different look from what we already have existing in the XL American Bully. What they did that was smart, though, is they went along with the masses. What do the masses prefer? And in Brazil, they prefer the more muscular, athletic, more alert dogs. And that is what they ran with, which was extremely smart. Hold on, let me see here. Taka said, at what point do we close the stud books? The ABKC allows it. So apparently, according to the Lady Samba, they are planning on not allowing the two dogs to be bred and crossed together soon. At some point, they plan on stopping that. The pit monster and the bully. We do know that there have been recent breedings of American Bulldog added into pit bull. I only know of one dude, Eric Clayton, that is actually in his pedigree. Everybody else is lying. They're paper hanging. I'm not going to say what kennels, but we know there are extremely popular kennels that have bred Borbell into their American Bullies and have become extremely successful in the American Bully community when it comes to selling dogs and getting people to speak on those dogs. We know Alapaha and Catahoula was also went into the American Bullies fairly recently to create the Merle color. So, but the reason ABKC doesn't have to worry about it is because nobody's telling the truth. Nobody's admitting what they're doing to get the look that they're getting. They're just registering them with ABKC as American Bullies, which is what American Bully breeders did with the UKC when they were registering their dogs as pit bulls, but knew they were mixing and paper hanging on everything. So the same thing continues today. And this is why I always say we need bloodlines. And that is what Brazil did. Bloodlines create consistency consistently. And that is what Brazil ran to. They somehow looked at what the people in Brazil wanted, and they bred for that, and they stuck to it, and they've gotten to where they've gotten to where you can now look at their dogs. And a lot of people keep pointing out the lack of eye separation. Now, that comes from inbreeding. And there are always going to be, we know dogs are broken into three categories: temperament, ability, and look. And when you start inbreeding, the blood starts to get a little too tight. There are certain features that pop out. Some of those features will be in temperament. Some may be in ability. Some may be in look. When it comes to inbreeding and the look, we know you start to get the features of dwarfism. We know that you sometimes lose eye separation, and that's what Brazil is doing. And they're breeding those dogs back to American bullies to get the proper eye separation. But that eye separation, but some of them like the eyes being close together the way they are. I think overall they are trying to get away from that by taking those dogs that are perfect specimens, except for the eye specimen, breeding them back to American bullies, then taking the pups that resemble the dog with the close together eyes, but don't have the close together eyes, and they're moving forward with that. So they're doing a great job at it, but to me, it is still just a bloodline, a Brazilian bloodline, because they're all participating in it. They know what they want and they're going for it. Whereas here with the American bully, we're kind of all over the place in what we want. They've got a breed type together. We don't. I know American bullies when I see them. The average person doesn't. Most of us who breed American bullies, we know, okay, that's an American bully. He just has more Mastiff. That's an American bully. He just has more Bulldog. That's an American bully. He's just got more Terrier, meaning Pit and Staffordshire Terrier. But we still know it's an American bully. They're eliminating the different variations, much like the American bully is doing in the show ring. Or you see people who don't compete in the show ring and they're starting to reach consistency in their look, even though they may not necessarily like the show ring look of the American bully. So I'm going to have to say it. I give Brazil props and coming together and being focused on getting a look, a temperament, and an ability, functionality that they are looking for in the breed. Is what I always tried to push for in the American bully. There was a point when the ABKC in their standard stated that the dog should be agile, very mobile. They removed that from the standard. The UKC states that the American bully should be able to compete, meaning that it should be able to keep up with other dogs. But, for whatever reasons, the show ring and the registry ABKC, they're not focused on ability other than the ability to get along with other dogs, get along with humans, which is a temperament thing. There's not even a real focus on temperament. Whereas with the Brazilian dogs, you hear them speaking of being proud that the dog gets along with other dogs, gets along with strangers, but is still protective of home. So they're looking for an alertness. They are very focused on the three things that make up a dog: temperament, ability, and look. They're getting a consistent look. They know the ability they want. They're not saying it needs to be able to catch hogs or anything like that, but they know they want an alert dog, a protective dog, an intelligent dog. And they're focused on temperament in the mix of it, and they're on the right path. But again, though, to me, it is more of a bloodline. And why would I say it's a bloodline? Because a bloodline is the same thing as a new bloodline is the same thing as a new breed. The only difference is the bloodline exists within that breed. The same process you take to create a breed is the same process that you take to create a bloodline. Bloodline, we know, and we've discussed it. Matter of fact, I think it was last week we discussed creating a bloodline. We know it takes 5 to 10 generations. The best to do it in 5. But the average person is going to take about 7 to 10 or more generations to get there. And they have done everything that you do to create a bloodline. Only difference is they've brought back in the American Bulldog and they brought back in the oldie to get the look that they wanted for their line. And now I think they're still bringing them in. They had a dog she spoke of that was an F1. She didn't, so I'm assuming that was American Bully and American Bulldog. It may have been oldie though. But so they're doing what they're supposed to do, but it is a bloodline. It is a XL American Bully, just a Brazilian bloodline. So as far as changing the name, I mean, it's their right to do it. They're starting their own their own registries. They're running with it. They're not looking back, it doesn't seem. So we got to give them some respect because after 80 years, there is a difference between the pit bull and the American Staffordshire Terrier. And that's just from 80 years of being bred a totally different direction. So what they're doing is they're acknowledging, and like I said, Samba, the lady that's orchestrating a lot of it, she did say that they are American bullies, XL American bullies, but they are now in conversation. Uh, Even in history, they're kind of twisting. I see some, not her, but I do see some kind of twisting the history where they are trying to separate it almost from the beginning from American bullies. But when it's all said and done, yes, the Brazilian pit monster, soon to be called the Brazilian bull, is definitely an XL American bully. It is just a different bloodline because all they've done is recently brought back in American Bulldog, brought back in Oldie Bulldog, and they're focused on a look which a bloodline has to have, a unique look. They are focused on a more functional dog, which a bloodline has to have a unique ability amongst its breed. And then they're focused on a unique temperament. Now, I think their temperament is the same goal as us XL American Bully breeders, other than they are focused on an alert dog, which means that they are focused on intelligence. But I don't really see any way around it. Now, if down the line they get to a point where they're so consistent and they're no longer bringing in other dogs, will they have a separate breed? I think possibly. The question is, are you going to have to bring in other breeds? Because if you've already got the eye separation being brought too close together from inbreeding, so now you're bringing in American bullies with the intent to get back to the look that you're creating, and all of a sudden you get back to the look that you're creating, are you going to have some more issues that come from a lack of genetic variation? That we'll see, and we won't know for unless they mess up, we won't know for another 20, 30, 40 years. But yeah, in closing of this live, yes, the XL American bully, or the Brazilian pit monster, soon to be called the Brazilian bull, is definitely a XL American bully, but it is definitely also a totally new bloodline that is distinct to Brazil, and they've done a great job on making it recognizable and staying focused. Crazy, I'm dropping an interview with Samba on this very topic. Cool. I think she's brilliant. Definitely will check that out, since I feel they are more transparent about their origins than we have been. Very much more transparent. And thanks for adding that. They're putting it. They are putting the dogs that they use in the pedigree. They are not hiding anything. They are very honest about it. Much like the American bullies should have been from the beginning. Some of I was heavy involved in bull lurchers and also band dogs. And it all went on the paperwork. When you took that bull lurcher, like I've said before, the guys I was dealing with bull lurchers were in Texas. Texas is a lot of flat ground. So they could throw in as much greyhound as they wanted and bull lurchers a cross between usually greyhound and pit bull. Some will use American bulldogs, but that in Texas, they can fly at 40, 45 miles an hour, no issues. California, we got a lot of rocks. It's rough, hills. So you needed more pit bull to a slightly thicker bone. Still wanted the speed, but you need a slightly thicker bone so that the dog didn't face as many injuries. My dog, they come home and they're limping and they're injured, and in Texas you don't have that issue because it's all flat land. So so you would bring back in more pit bull or more greyhound. When it comes to band dogs, there's no stopping until you reach perfection. So you're constantly bringing in this dog, that dog. It's all based off temperament and ability. There is no focus on look when it comes to band dogs. And then eventually somebody like H. Lee Robinson with American Sentinel Canine, through breeding the band dogs, he finally found what he felt was perfect. And he said, okay, I'm not bringing in anything else. I'm going to go ahead and cross my band dogs to my band dogs. And I'm going to establish a breed, which is the Sentinel. Um, so, much respect to him. But at some point, we will see with the Brazilian Pit Monster if they are going to need to bring back in American bullies. I think they're where they want. There are some bringing in back the American Bulldog and the Oldie Bulldog as needed. But again, they limit it to just those two: American Bully, American Bulldog, Oldie Bulldog. So they're limiting it to just, those two. Now, so the consistency is showing up right off the bat. Not only that, the majority of the American Bulldog and Oldie Bulldog is coming from one kennel, which is seems to be Sunshine Kennels. Um, who was that was talking about bringing on Samba? Heroes Kennels. Try to see if she can bring on, I think her name was Patrice, because she's the one who it seems like they're getting a lot of their Oldie Bulldogs and their American Bulldogs from. So see if you can throw her in there also. But Samba has to translate for her, though. But Samba definitely knows what they're doing, where they're headed, where they came from, like I said, where they're headed. So I think that's going to be a great interview, and I will definitely check on that and watch that myself. But it's, to me, it is. I'm not even going to say to me. I'm going to say factually, if you go by the way of dogs, the Brazilian Pit Monster is a bloodline of the XL American Bully. Can they take that bloodline and eventually be their own breed? I would say yes. But as of right now, they have a long ways to go to be their own breed. Because, like I said, it resembles many of the dogs that we have here in America. It's just not the look that the show ring is pushing, and it's not the look that I want the biggest bully. The 200-pound bully is not the look that they're pushing. But their dogs resemble, what's his name? Red Lion, Tuan Tran. They resemble his dogs. They resemble the Camelot dogs. They resemble dogs that are already here. They resemble some of the Ellis dogs that we've seen in the past. So there are a lot of dogs that are already here in America that resemble that line. So again, yes, the Brazilian Pit Monster is 100% a XL American Bully bloodline, but they have created their own bloodline distinct to Brazil. And though there are dogs here that are XL American Bullies and resemble those dogs, they still have they're focusing on that look. They're avoiding the Mastiff look, and they're avoiding the soft look of the Bulldog. Their dogs have less fat on them, and you got to give them their respect for that. I feel I already read that. They are also, again, being transparent. The dogs that are being used are in their pedigrees. They're not lying about it. They're very open about it. They're not worried about the pressures of America. Oh, that's just a mixed breed, or that's just a band dog. I hate when I hear people say that about the XL American Bully, because it is not a band dog. It doesn't have the intensity. There's nothing about it that is band dog. So I'm going to end it with that. So yes, in conclusion, the XL, or the Brazilian Pit Monster, soon to be called the Brazilian Bull, is XL American Bully, but it is its own breed. I mean, it is its own bloodline. It is not its own breed. It is its own bloodline. They are looking to take it in its own direction based off the way of dogs. How could you go in a totally separate direction and actually make it its own breed? You would at some point have to stop adding the American Bullies. You would have to but then that makes it an American Bully. See, and that's why they're in a tricky situation, kind of where the Amstaff was with the Pit Bull. But they've already got their look, which also exists here. So to me, for it to be their own breed, there would have to be a slightly different look. Um, I think they would have to. They're aiming for the same temperament. They definitely are aiming for a more functional dog, but we've already got that here in the XL American Bully. It's just not in the show ring. And so, but as long as ABKC is registering everything that is XL American Bully blood, whether it's in the show ring or not, then we just have different lines going on. And the XL Pit Monster, or the Brazilian Pit Monster, is one of those lines. So I don't know what route they would have to go to actually truly forget about legitimacy on paper, but to truly be a separate dog breed. They would almost have to bring in another breed to create a different look that we don't have here in America. And we do have that look. We don't have the eye separation thing that's going on with them, but they're trying to breed away from that. When they breed away from that, that's not only going to affect the eyes and spread the eyes further apart how they should be, it's also going to affect the muzzle. It's going to affect the overall dog. And I think as they go to fix the dog, they're gonna see that they're just ending up with the American Bully all over again. So that's my conclusion to it. That's my opinion based off the facts. I think that is also beyond opinion, that it is factual, that they have just created a Brazilian bloodline, and they're giving it a different name, but it is the XL American Bully because we've already got those dogs and that look, the temperament, the ability. We've already got that here in America. All right, let me see comments. Thinks I'm wrong, let me know. Let's see. A Big Rose, salute. What's up, that dude? The real dog man of all times. Let's see. Albert Perro said, quick question. What makes big Gemini bullies different from the XL bullies? Gemini, big Gemini bullies. Okay. BGK. With shout out to Andre. Who always gets on me about how I need to promote my lives and all that. I'm just not into that. But Andre has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to promotion and social media and everything. He has XLs. BGK is XL American Bullies. Now, when you look at his promotions, it says Pit Bulls or XL Pit Bulls. The reason he does that is, you got to remember, he got involved with this in the beginning stages when they were all calling them Pit Bulls. He hasn't changed that. So what he does is, when you call him and you say, hey, I want one of your big Pit Bulls, he's going to let you know, hey, these aren't Pit Bulls. These are XL American Bullies. So he breeds XL American Bullies. I have some of his blood in Cardi Bull. But yeah, his are XL American Bully. BGK is XL American Bullies, but Andre prefers a dog with a little. He kind of thinks a little bit like I do. He prefers a dog that is a guardian. That though gets along with strangers, is also watchful and observant of that stranger. Is very in tune with the family. So he prefers a dog that has a little more alertness, a little more intelligence than the average XL breeder, which is why he and I have always clicked. So they are XLs. The big Gemini kennels is XL bullies. Looks like those are the only questions that we've had, only comments. Unfortunately, I cannot see Facebook. Let me go over there and see if there's any comments. And looks like there's a few comments on that one. Oh, then there's the one in the group. All right, so we're just going to stick with YouTube. That makes it easier. Keep it all in one place. So again, in conclusion, and then we're going to get out of here. The Brazilian Pit Monster is a line of the XL American Bullies. Due to it is made up of XL American Bullies and the breeds used to create XL American Bullies. To separate a breeds, you have to have a unique look, temperament, and ability from the dogs used to create, from the breeds used to create your breed. The look that they are going for it more consistent, already resides in our XL American Bullies. It's just not in our show ring, and it's not in our who has the biggest 200-pound dog. But as far as there, we see breeders that already have that look, even down to, like I said, Tuan Tran. He has dogs that already fit that look, identical in color and everything else. The Chevy dogs are still being produced. There are American Bullies that are heavy Chevy blood. That look already exists in the American Bully breed. So that doesn't separate it to make it a new breed. And then the last thing is temperament. Their goal for temperament is the same as the UKC temperament for the American Bully. The only difference between their goal for temperament and the ABKC is that they do, the ABKC has no focus on functionality or ability, whereas they are focused on it. And the UKC is also focused on it. So they are XL American Bullies, just a Brazilian bloodline. And I wish them success. I love the way they all stick together. When I go through their pages and their groups, I don't see the fighting and the nonsense that you see in the American Bully community. They're all on the same page in making this a new breed. I do believe they are 100% on the right path of making it a brand new bloodline, a Brazilian bloodline in the XL American Bully. But it is definitely not a new breed. And I don't know how they would get to a new breed because the XL American Bully used everything. So they would have to find something that is not used in the XL American Bully, but would make it stand apart from the XL American Bully and all the various lines here. So I think they are stuck with being XL American Bullies and will be trapped into that trap until they figure that out. But other than that, this was a short live because I just wanted to get focus on this one topic. We are out. I will be back again next Tuesday. I was supposed to go live yesterday, was not able to, so I went ahead and did it today. So again, always remember in our leaving that mind follows when it comes to us as dog owners. Mind follows the body, body follows the mind. So do what's best for your dog mentally and physically. Make sure you are exercising your dog. And as breeders, remember, form follows function. Function follows purpose, and purpose follows the breeder. So don't just better the breed, use the breed to create a better dog. And we are out.